How's it going, folks? This is Wayne Art, back with another review today, and Blackstar have been very kind to send me an acoustic Core 30 amp for me to review. Apparently you can put your guitar, you can put your vocals through this, so it almost acts like a PA, so I can't wait to get started, so let's get it open. Okay, so first of all we'll get it unboxed and see how well it's sort of packaged if I just open that up. I know I watch loads of videos and I don't see much point in seeing people open a cardboard box, but I think it's obviously very important to do that when you're doing a review, to make sure everything's packaged well and everything. So we go to the main box. I'll just open that up. Okay, so on opening the box, we've got the power supply at the top there, very well packaged, loads of cardboard in for packing, so we'll just pull that out and so we can get to the amp. Okay, so that's the amplifier itself, you know, nice and small and compact. Obviously you can see all the controls there. I'll talk about them shortly, so let's get started. Okay, so I thought I'd show you the power supply first of all. Now that comes in two parts. Obviously we've got the power supply, that's got the jack socket that goes into the amp. Now the kettle lead comes separately, so we can plug that in into the power supply. Obviously we got the mains plug, so we can plug that through the mains. But the reason being, we can actually get an additional sort of battery pack that plugs into the power supply, which enables you to, you know, if you're ideal for a busker or maybe you're playing in a beer garden or a garden party, you can play outdoors without worrying about, you know, finding a power supply. So straight away, I think that is a brilliant feature. Okay, so before we do the road test with this amp, I just want to, you know, show you through all the different options and controls at the top of the amp. So we've got two channels. We've got one, obviously, for the guitar, and channel 2 is for the vocal. So if you look at the guitar one first, we've got an input, jack input socket. We've got a gain switch, we've got a low, we've got a high, we've got a chorus, and we've also got a reverb. So all these I'll be testing out in a short while. We've got a little enhance button, which I'll be testing out. We've got a USB input, so that's quite handy if you want to do some recording into a computer. We've got a foot switch, a jack input if you want to use a foot switch. We've got a line out, which is great for using headphones if you don't want to disturb the neighbours, obviously. We've got a line in if we want to do any streaming. It's also great for putting music through this amp, so if you get, you know, the little sort of jack lead that's going to fit into those little inputs there. So then if we look at the vocals, we've got the XLR input or Canon lead. Okay, we've got the gain switch, we've got a low, we've got a mid, we've got a high, and we've also got a reverb switch as well. We've got a clarity button, which I'll be giving a road test in a short while. Also, we've got a phase button as well, and I have already powered the amp up, so if we turn it on, obviously we've got the red display light there to tell us that the amp's on. So without further ado, let's give it a test. Okay, so now it's time for the road test. I've got the guitar plugged into the amplifier. Now the settings at the moment, I'm keeping it fairly dry to start off with. I've got the gain on 12 o'clock, the low on 12 o'clock, and the high on 12 o'clock. The master's on about 10 o'clock, so I'm not having it sort of too loud. And I haven't got any chorus or reverb on at the moment. Okay, so this is the guitar, what I call fairly clean. Here we go. Okay, so we try that. We hit the little enhance button. See what that does. So that's gave it a little bit more clarity, makes it sound a little bit more clean, a bit more acoustic. Okay, so now I'm going to try a bit of chorus. So there's two sort of chorus options. You've got a vintage setting or you've got a wide setting. So I'm just going to try the vintage setting first. So let's give this a go. So. Okay, so let's try that with a little bit of reverb. So again, on the reverb, we've got a room setting and we've got a hall setting. So At the moment I've got the chorus on vintage and I've got the reverb that's on the room setting, so we'll do the same again. So a little bit nice with that reverb on there. Okay, I'm now going to change the chorus to the wide, so give it a little bit more chorus, and we'll turn the reverb up to the hall setting. So okay, really nice. So on the chords, that's going to give it that sort of 12-string sound if we hear that. So that's still with the chorus on wide and the reverbs on hall. Okay, so okay, so now we're going to test the vocals out. Obviously I've got my XLR lead plugged in there into the Canon socket. And now setting wise, I've had a little mess around with this earlier on just to sort of suit my vocals. At the moment I've got the gain on 12 o'clock, I've got the low on 12 o'clock, the mids on 1 o'clock, the highs on 1 o'clock, and I've got the reverb on the room setting, okay. I've also got the clarity button pressed down as well, so let's give that a go.
Maybe I don't really want to know how your garden grows, 'cause I just want to fly. Lately, did you ever feel the pain when the morning rain soaks you to the bone?
Okay, so I'm now going to put a little bit more reverb on. I'm going to put it onto the hall setting. Okay, and I'm also going to hit the phase switch as well. See what that does. So
maybe I just want to fly, want to live but don't want to die. Maybe I just want to breathe. Maybe I just don't believe. Maybe you're the same as me. We see things I'll never see. You and I are gonna live forever.
okay, so thanks very much for watching. I hope you all dug that review. Big thanks to Blackstar for letting me do the review. You know, it's really nice that companies like that reach out and let people like me, you know, do reviews for their products. Obviously, a lot of the big corporate companies, you know, they're not really interested in people like me unless you've got over 1 million subscribers or whatever. So, so massive thanks to Blackstar, and I can't recommend this amp enough. We've seen it in action. Obviously, you know, great guitar sounds you can get from this amp. Also the vocals as well. It's very, you know, quite loud for what it is. I've only got the volume on sort of 10 o'clock. I found if I put it, I'm only in a little room, obviously doing these recordings, so. Obviously, if I have it any louder, obviously the microphone which I'm filming on distorts a little bit. So, but you know, really loud for what it is. So ideal if you're doing little pub gigs or maybe open mics or something like that. If you were playing a big venue, I'd still love to use this, but I'd probably, you know, mic it up and put a mic in front of the amp and put it through a PA system, and I'm sure it'd, you know, it'd still sound as great. So a great little amp, and for under £200 as well, you know, it's a lot of amp for the money. If you're after that, if you're doing, you know, live streams or maybe some live sort of streams from home, live gigs, which are a big thing at the moment, obviously with the lockdown and everything that's sort of gone on. A lot of people are doing live gigs from home, so, you know, for the money, I think this is, you know, perfect for something like that. It's under £200. If you shop around, I've seen them as cheap as sort of, you know, 180, 185 quid. So I am going to put a little link to this, you know, in the description below. I'll also put one in the comments, you know, a little description on the amp so you can read up on it a little bit more. I'll also put a link through to Amazon, so if you want to purchase the amp or go on and have a look at the reviews and everything, you can check that out as well. So that just leaves me to say thanks very much for watching, and I'll catch you all for a review, but sometime soon. Take care.